So essentially contractors come to us, we help them find leads in their area, from homeowners looking for roofing, the painting, to fencing. We have a ton of different trades, and we are here to help contractors find more business. I manage our content marketing side of our marketing team, and we are here to help users in every step of the customer journey. So people just looking at who is CraftJack, brand awareness, just nurturing that relationship with our current customers. My personal thought on that is content marketing is essential to any growing business, whether you've been around for 50 years to 5. It's an essential pillar of digital marketing, and I think what CraftJack does is really important because we really do provide additional value for our contractors beyond just our lead generation services. So I've been with CraftJack for 6.5 years now. I started as just kind of a content specialist, and I've worked my way up. I really love content marketing. I live and breathe it. It's my favorite thing. And then I had some position changes where I was doing a little bit of product, and my role just kind of evolved into something bigger than writing every day. I was now doing more strategy. I was doing SEO. I was managing various email or content distribution projects, and it left way less time for writing. That kind of put me in a situation where I was like, well, we can't stop creating content. So what do I do? I was becoming overworked. My priorities were shifting, and I just didn't have time to create the important content we needed. And that was getting really hard because I was split. I manage our video team and our videographers. So I was working on video, I was creating articles. It was just a lot to juggle. I needed some extra hands to help with, especially with some of the ideas I had. We're growing. We're growing as a company and have big ideas for our content marketing. And it needed to be more than just me at that point. But we were ready to hire someone full time. I think the other pain point, in addition to writing content, is editing content. I enjoy editing, but that sometimes is the more tedious work of the day. If I have to do some reporting and work on a new video launch or work on a new SMS campaign, editing is going to fall at the bottom of the list, and that's when mistakes start to slip through. So that was something else that I needed to address for a solution. At that point, I had no idea what the solution would be. I just felt like I was stuck. I'm like, okay, how do I do all of this? How do I get all these things done with my limited amount of time? And things were just falling through the cracks. And I really like to do a good job, but I wasn't able to work to my full potential. I didn't even think that another company or something else out there could provide a full solution to everything I needed. I figured if anything, I have to piece it together. Okay, well, maybe I can outsource the editing or outsource the writing or something like that. But I didn't think something existed that was kind of a full service solution. Once I saw the availability, the different services that were offered, I was I just saw the opportunities, from writing and editing to all I had to do was send over a brief and it would be done. It was guaranteed to be good, because we had worked with guest writers before, but even if we got guest writers and we were proofing their art, or freelancers, I have to go through and proof their articles or send back a lot of feedback. And I was really interested in the fact that it was I don't want to say hands off, but it was definitely there was another management to it that made it easier, where I wouldn't have to be quite as invested as I had been with freelance writers in the past, other things going on. I loved all the services available. We were able to get in touch right away with someone, and they seemed to really understand our business well. I feel when I first started, I was what does CraftJack do? I've never heard of this before. And sometimes translating that can be really hard. But there's a whole B2B side that people don't see, and that's primarily where I work. So it's how do you market to contractors? And how do you, what is the, you really need to speak their language. And that language can vary by different trades. So I think when we had the initial conversation, it seemed like content really understood. What I was saying wasn't new to them. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And I'm it makes sense to you? It took me a year to understand this. So I think that was really helpful, because I think a hard part is when you're onboarding a freelancer, onboarding anyone, just explaining them the nature of what we do is really challenging. For the most part, we've worked with like freelancers and agencies in the past. As far as like agency work, it just sometimes feel like they didn't get it. Agencies are generally really big. They lose that understanding of your business. I didn't feel that way when I first started talking to Crowd Content. Like it just felt really personal, and that they were here to learn about our business and not just try to bring us in and fit into their mold. I've been able to focus my priorities on where they need to be. I love writing content. It's so fun. But I think at some point, like, you have to get to that next level of content strategy and distribution and focus more of my time on those efforts versus like the nitty gritty of writing the articles. I think that's something else that's really important is that we started doing new Spanish language content and Spanish translations with Crowd Content. I think that was, another thing that attracted us was like, oh, like this could be a really cool opportunity. We service a lot of Spanish speaking contractors, and it's been really hard for us to bridge that gap, and working with Crowd Content has helped us bridge that gap. We have seen a lot of positive results from that. I would say that's probably our biggest success story is the production and the distribution of that. Yeah, I do a lot of SEO work, and it's for anyone over the last couple of years, it's been all over the place. And I feel like it's given me time to figure out how to optimize our existing articles. Then the articles that are being produced are optimized as well. So we're seeing returns from that and positive results. It does save time. I think it does save money because, we're not hiring someone full time. That's a big deal. And obviously it does, I've already stressed out, saves us time. I think it also helps our quality. I'm not stretched super thin, so I'm able to read articles that are already edited. So it's not like I'm not worried about that, and I'm not worried about the quality of what's being produced. So I think that's really good too, is that I'm confident in the quality that's coming out. Monthly meetings with my account manager, which is really nice. And I really enjoy those, just getting to touch base, see faces, put faces with names, and just be able to chat. Like I don't think you get that kind of attention with an agency. I've worked with freelancers in the past who I've never even met. So being able to have that like personal touch to the service is really nice, and making sure we're all on the same page. Like that's huge for me. Getting questions answered directly. Sometimes the meetings are like 10 minutes long, but they're really good meetings and they're efficient, and we chat a little bit, so those are good. I appreciate the versatility. Like I think recently I came and I was like, hey, I'm looking at getting some video descriptions optimized. What does that look like? What can you do for me? And it was taken, and we're like optimizing I think I sent over like 10 different videos to have optimized, like with copy, and like it's been done and it's been working out great. So just being able to incorporate and try new things, like the ability to pivot is really helpful. If something's working or something's not working, or being able to try something new. We started producing Spanish language content, brand new, and the article has now grown completely organically. No, it hasn't been placed in any emails, it hasn't been placed on social, completely organically. The first article that was Spanish language article that was produced from Crowd Content is one of our top drivers of conversions on our website. It's consistently in our top 5 every month, I think for about the last year. And we're seeing that growth kind of across the board. We haven't figured out a strategy behind distribution for that, or like what that looks like. So everything that goes on for Spanish language content just lives on the site. And the growth has been exponential for all of those articles. This year, we are averaging of 70% year over year, specifically for our Spanish language articles. January, it was 125% year over year. Only optimizing the articles for like SEO and you guys writing them. We're not like distributing them in any specific way. It's purely organic, and that's fantastic. It's very exciting. Seeing 70%, like even that is really good, especially in a time where it's like everyone's struggling with SEO and everyone's struggling to be seen. Like sometimes looking at those metrics are really frustrating and sad. So when I see that pull up, I'm like, oh, cool. Like, okay, we're doing something's working. I've recommended Crowd Content to a few people now. And I see this a lot just from doing some, talking to people and doing some consulting work, is like, they don't know where to start with content marketing. They want to produce something, they want to produce stuff for emails, but they have no idea what to say. And I think that you guys have been a great help. Like, I know that I prepare article briefs, but I'm sure if I needed to, I could be like, hey, like, I don't know what to do. And you guys would be there. And I think for businesses that don't have enough time to sit down, write 1,000 words, do all the research, edit it, to do that whole process, like, it's a lot. And I think that it takes some of that challenge out of content marketing so that businesses can really focus on their success.